So it's raining, and I had to come outside to come down the street by the church to tell you the rest because the man is in the house. And there's someone in a pickup truck, white pickup truck by the church with a paper tag right here now. I come back down here to record where I was before. Back to the point where Greenspoint Mall, where the man dropped me off, the black man dropped me off at the Greenspoint Mall, and I went to the restroom and I changed into a little red outfit, two-piece outfit, because I was that small where I could wear two-piece outfits and everything. And so I come out of the mall, and this time there were black women coming in to see what I was doing in the mall as well, in the bathroom. And when I come out with my suitcase, it was a duffel bag suitcase that you can pull with the handle and the wheel on it, and it was colorful, different mini color like purple and orange and really green, really pretty blue color. And when I was coming out, there was a black man who whipped up on me when I was going back towards the apartments down there by where all the black people were, because that's where I felt safest. And so I was walking down that way, down the street, and before I can get out of the parking lot of the mall, a black man pulled up on me in a black pickup truck, and he was saying, come into the car with he, that he would give me a ride, and I think it was burgundy. And I get into the car with he, and he started trying to talk about sex and things like that, and at some point I end up getting out of the car. And when I got out of the car, I see a man behind the church, going into the church. But when I got out of the pickup car, and I see a black man coming out of the church now, anyway, but funny how everyone come run around when I come. But anyway, so basically, and I don't want them all in my mouth, but anyway, so, or intimidating me to tell, because they're not real preacher or ratchet people or anything like that. So anyway, when I was coming out of the church, not the church, see how they throwing me off from what I trying to say? And the other man still at the back door, and he's still sitting over there like he doing something. So I'm gonna walk past a little bit further down so he can get the fuck out my motherfucking mouth. You know what I say? And trying to intimidate me like that. I don't like that shit. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So I get out the car with the man right there by Green Road, by where Greenspoint Mall is. And this is an empty parking lot by the church, it's not on their property. And I on the sidewalk right here. And they just for me, perfect. So they can't say I on their property. Leave me the hell alone. But anyway, so he can't see me now. It's a tree right there in front of me. Well, in front of where he at, he can't even see my mouth running my mouth like this. So anyway, so the man, he dropped me off like by Green Road. And I think the Lord telling me I can put it down now because it start raining now. So the man is still trickling a little bit, but I'm gonna sit it down. So the man dropped me off by the Green Road, and I going down the Greens Road, and I'm walking down the sidewalk with my suitcase, dragging my suitcase, pretty little outfit on. I did my makeup, hair, everything, and I look very beautiful. And I coming down the street, and black men swarming around like, hey, like they never do that before because they really want the white girl, and they want the other black girl with the big booty and the thing that like that. And then they want to run around with the girl with the money and they say that they got college degree and things like that. So they never like me, no matter how pretty I was or how young and beautiful, they never like me. So now all of a sudden, they want me to pay them money when I was younger. They want me to give them the money for me to be with them. So they never like me like that. So I coming down, and all of a sudden all these black men and everything, go away. Hispanic man in a truck, license plate HHW6621, the same one that watched me from the corner over there at the house that was getting drunk the other night in a black Chevrolet. It's a pickup truck with a top on. So anyway, so the black men, they never try to talk to me, and now they all were swarming around me, and they all coming back to back trying to pick me up, and I telling them like, I ain't not interested, And then they come, I going past the park, and black men posted up at the park in their car with the door open and coming out to talk to me and running down to talk to me like I something special today, And I like, no, I don't want to talk to you. I know what you're trying to do. You know, you're trying to say up something. That's what you're trying to do. Every time they try to talk to me, it's only something in it for you. You know, someone offering you something for me, for my life in return. So I know what it is, but I just don't say anything, and I just say, no, I don't want to talk to you. And I keep going, like, and then there was a woman, she was kind of like Hispanic mulatto, you know, like, I would say, like, I wouldn't say mulatto, but, like, she looked like she was like Hispanic and black or something like that. And she get out her car from the park, and she go, Nicole, is that you, Nicole? And I like, no, I'm not Nicole. And she come running to the sidewalk where I at. And then she's standing in the grass right there by the park. And she like, oh, why you walking around here like I some desperate prostitute? And I was destitute, you know, but not prostitute. So she like, what you doing out here? What you doing out here? Hold on, let me put my thing back up because the rain started again, and I don't want to mess up my makeup like that, even though I don't have the proper brush to do. But anyway, so she like, Nicole, and like, I'm not Nicole. And she like, why you doing walking down the street? And she see all the men trying to pick me up, and I say no. And then, so why you still trying to talk to me like I prostitute? You know I not prostitute. You see me tell them no. And I walking by myself with my bag. And she say, oh, well, she light skin, real light skin, you know, with the hair texture of another ethnicity. And so I like than me. So I like, you know, I just walking. I don't have nowhere to live, you know, because they were after what Beverly Rayo I did, and then I went to Shea, you know, house, and after I leave Shea house at the mall, I walking down the street, right? So I don't have nowhere to live, so I just going for a walk, you know. And I looking really nice. I don't look like how they wanted me to look, and so now they want to say like I prostitute, I beautiful, you know, outside, and you don't leave a beautiful woman outside like that. So and she not prostitute, you know. And so basically, she said, oh, well, if I had somewhere to bring you, I would bring you to my home. But she said, I stay with an abusive man too. Like, she said, I stay with a man, and, you know, I really don't like to be with he, but I don't want to bring you there. And he kind of like the type of man who I don't get along with. So I like, okay, you know, why don't you just, you know, let me know if you can help me out from time to time. So the lady said, well, I'm going to give you a number, or give you my number maybe, and then I can see if I can help you or something. And then she was like, is there somewhere I can take you, like wanting to give me off the street? And I'm like, no, there's nowhere you can take me. And I could tell that there was something about this woman, because women do not stop to help other women. They don't do that. So all of a sudden you're trying to act like you care about me, and you're trying to stop, you know, like you care about me. And I'm like, you don't. But I'm listening to her story. And she was saying, okay, well, I gotta go. And she's not offering me a place to stay. I'm gonna try to take my accent off, because I do that when I get angry. You know, when I get upset too much. So I'm gonna take it off so they don't try to say I crazy and split personality. But anyway, so the lady, she was really just seeming to be really, really fake. You know, like she was just trying to get me to be with someone who would abuse me. Like she was a part of it. So I tell her, you know, to leave me alone, basically. And she started to, you know, get back in her vehicle, and I go walking down the street. I tell her I'm okay, I'm walking. So I start walking down the street on Greens Road. And I remember as I was walking down the road, they kept swarming around me. All the black men kept swarming around me, trying to pick me up. And I walked to the City Trends parking lot, because that's where I would shop, and, you know, I felt comfortable around black people. And then I noticed there was swarming all around. They were all crawling the parking lot. And there was my phone had died, and I needed to use a phone to try to post my ad with the card that Breonna Wright had given to me. Excuse me, not Breonna Taylor. Breonna Wright had given to me. And when I got to the parking lot, there was a man that pulled up on me. I think his name was Ray. I'm not sure, but he was in a white pickup truck, and he stays in Twin Falls. He was saying he was staying in Twin Falls in a house, but I didn't know that then. So the man picked me up because I asked him, could I use the phone? He said, yeah, you can use my phone. So I said, okay. So I got in the car with him to use his phone. I said it'll only take about 5 to 15 minutes for me to post my ad, and then I could charge my phone somewhere, and I would ask him to charge my phone for me. So I was using his phone, and the man said, do you mind if I go stop by my office? It's right around the corner. And I said, okay. He seemed like, okay. He was an older, black, light-skinned guy. And I said, okay. So what he did was he drove way far out and said, I need to stop by my house. He drove to a building, but he never went in. And then he said, oh, I need to stop by my house for something. And do you mind? And I was like, okay. So he drove all the way out to Twin Falls from Greenspoint, and there were Hispanic men crawling in the parking lot where I met him as well, and black men all standing up at the store at the Shell right there selling drugs, like out in the open, like no one even cared. So next thing you know, we're at Twin Falls at this 2-story house, and he say, come inside with me. And I tell him, I do not want to go inside with you. I do not know you, and you did not say you were coming to your house to begin with. And that's the so-called preacher man pulling off like that. So anyway, he said, come into the house. And I said, I do not want to come into your home. And so he said to me, I don't want to just leave you out here sitting out here like that. Come on in. And I did not want to come in. And so he said, well, where do you live? What's going on with you? Why are you outside? And I told him I didn't have anywhere to go. So he said, well, why don't you just go ahead and stay with me tonight since you don't have anywhere to go. I said, I don't want to do that because I'm not having sex with you. If that's what you think is going to happen, I do not want to do that. So basically, he said, well, do you want to go to my brother's house for a little while? So we went. I was like, that's okay. We can go to your brother's home. And I felt more comfortable because I felt other people would be over there, and I did not know him. So we went over to his brother's home, which was like not too far away, and his sister was there supposedly, and her son, who was younger, he was not my age, but maybe a little younger than me. And so we went over there, and we were all chilling, and they started to cook food and everything, and we were eating. And I say I spent the night with him at his house after this, since I met his family. So I did spend the night over at his home, and he said, well, there's no air conditioning upstairs, and you're going to have to sleep downstairs in the living room with me on the couch. And I said, I don't feel comfortable with that. This is a big 2-story house. He was saying his son was gone. There was no one else in the home, that he was with his mother. There was a whole bunch of stuff in the garage, women's clothing and things like that he said was his nieces and stuff like that. So I stayed upstairs in a room with no air conditioning, and it was very hot. It was very, very hot, but I still stayed up there after I took a shower and everything. And he crept into the room upstairs, and he tried to come into the room to rape me. And I caught him sneaking in, and I said, what do you think you are doing? And then he said, I was going to try to have sex with you. And I said, do not. And I said, leave. And then I said, I'm going to try to lock the door, but I could not. There was no lock on the door. And then I said, I'm very uncomfortable now because you said you would not do that. And then he said, okay, I won't come back up here. And then it got really, really hot up there, so I had to go downstairs to sleep down there with him because there was no air conditioning. So I slept in the living room on one side of the couch, and I woke up with him on top of me. And I told him, get off of me. And he was very heavy. I said, get off of me. And then he said that he would not. And I said, are you going to rape me? And then he said, you must have been raped before. And I said, why? Is that what you're trying to do? And then so he said, I ain't not trying. I don't have to do that. Plenty of women would love to come in my home and have my home and be my wife and give it to me. I got a lot of women begging me to be with them and all of this. And I was like, well, get off of me or else. And so he got off of me, and he was upset about that. And we went to his brother's house again, and he paid my phone bill and come inside. And I didn't want him to know what my real name was. But he come in, and he paid my phone bill, buy me something to eat. And I was asking him, like, if he would do something else for me, like help me out with some money or something like that so I can go or do something for me. And then he said, not if you don't have sex with me. So I told him no, that I would not have sex with him. We went over back to his brother's home, and I left. We were in the garage. They kept me in the garage, and we were all out there listening to music and stuff and, dancing and chilling and everything, just talking and laughing. And he kept leaving me there with his brother and the nephew the first day and the second day to go and meet with someone. And then he had, like I said, he had a white pickup truck, and he had asked me the first day when he brought me to his brother's house. He said, is there someone following you? at his home too. He was like, is there someone following you? Because I could have sworn I saw someone following us. And then he said, my brother saw someone follow you here and then follow us here. I said, how you know that they were following me? You know, like if he didn't know something was going on, how you know they're not following you? And then so I didn't see anyone. So I'm like, well, I didn't see anyone. But there was a man who come through speeding around in their cul-de-sac at the brother's house in a drop-top convertible. And he's speeding around, so I figured that's what it was. And then the white people come out there playing ball and everything, like all of a sudden. So I didn't think much of that. But I went into the restroom the second time he brought me to his brother's house. And I was in the restroom and I come out and I had a bottle of water. And I left the bottle of water there. And something told me not to drink it. It was bubbles in it or something that looked almost like an oil. And so I drank it anyway. Thinking, no, I'm just tripping or whatever. And all of a sudden, my body started to burn. And I knew that the young man who had been in the garage, his nephew, his sister's son, he had put something in the water and it was burning my body. And then I knew he had poisoned me. And so after that, he was like, are you ready to go? And I was like, yes. And I was ready to go. I didn't say anything, but I knew they had poisoned me. So I left and went back to his house with him. And he started to, I tried to spend the night with him. And he started to, I did spend the night. He started to try to fight with me and argue with me. And he was like, oh, so this why no one wants to let you in their home, because I wouldn't let him rape me and have sex with me. And then he wanted to know, where's your situation? Where's your family? Where's your kids? Like, he didn't know anything about this. And he had a few food in his house, but everything was kind of old and things like that. And the food that I was eating from the Burger King was like old, where we had stopped to get food. And he didn't really want to buy me anything to eat. And then so after that, I told him, you need to, he said, I'm going to my father's get together, or not his father's family get together, and I'm not going to bring you with me because I met you on the streets and I don't want my family looking at me crazy. And I said, well, you the one over here trying to buy pussy, and you, and I said, no, and you're trying to make it seem like you can't bring me around your family. I said, no, I'm not with that. I was like, I don't want to go with you regardless. Just drop me off where you met me. And I was in the bathroom getting myself together. And he was in there trying to beg me to stay. And he was coming in the restroom while I was trying to take a shower and do my hair and makeup and trying to keep me from looking beautiful, you know. And then he was telling me that I needed to have sex with him in order for him to help me out with any money. Because he told me that he would after so many times. He said, I will help you out. And then he said he didn't want sex. But then he come up there saying he wanted to lick my vagina and do all of that. And then he said that I would have to have sex with him for the money. And I said, no. I said, you're a really bad man. I said, you calling me a prostitute. I said, I can't come to your family because you picked me up from a parking lot by City Trend. And I said, but the thing is, you could catch AIDS with your behavior because you want to have sex with someone that you don't know. I said, I don't. He said, oh, so good thing you tell me. He was like, yeah, you're right. What am I thinking? You could give me AIDS. And I like, well, I'm not saying that I have AIDS. I'm just saying that if you keep doing that, you know, ain't no telling what you run into. And then so I get in I have on my pretty outfit, and he like, oh, please do not wear that out of my home. Please do not wear it. And that's what I come into the house with, those type of outfit. He like, I don't want my neighbors to see you like that, or they're going to think that I buying pussy and I John. And I like, well, I'm going to dress how I want to dress. I wear my sandal. I won't wear my heels out or whatever, because at first I was wearing heels and stuff. And then so he was like, don't wear the heels. So I didn't wear them. And we come out into the truck, and he didn't want to let me leave. And then so I tell him, drop me off where you met me. Drop me off now. And then so he say, I don't want to take you and all of this. So he dropped me off over there, and then he keep coming back talking about, come on, I don't want to leave you. Just come with me. And I tell him no. Once I realized what he was trying to do to me in his home, and I was poisoned and things like that, and he trying to make me out to be a prostitute, and he was trying to argue with me and provoke me and fight me in his home. So I was like, no, I'm not going back with you. And he kept driving around trying to pick me up, and all of the men kept swarming around trying to pick me up. And then so I went to sit at the bus stop, and someone had boo-booed at the bus stop. And I was like, that's really crazy or whatever. And so I had to like stand by the bus stop, and I was trying to get myself together to see what I would do next. And it was by Chisholm Trail, by Beverly Raoul's home. But it wasn't on that street. It was near the home. It was near those apartments by the Greenspoint area where the City Trends and the Family Dollar and the liquor store and the Shell, all of that. So next thing you know, there was a black man in a white Cadillac, and he come to pick me up. And I didn't want to get in, but he was like, I'm not going to do anything. I just wanted to see if you wanted me to get you a room, for maybe an hour or two to get you, off your feet a little bit, and we could just talk. I said, I'm not having sex with you. And he said, oh, no, we don't have to. We can just talk. So I got in the car with him, and there was no air conditioning in the car. And then so he take me to go get me something to eat, and then he took me to a Palace Inn that was way down the street from where we were. And we went inside, and I was dancing, just dancing, and to do some videos to create me like a TikTok or something, and try to give me some client, but not for sex, but just entertainment purposes. And I was very small, so you could really not tell that I was pregnant because people have been starving me. So the man asked me if I would have sex with him, and I said no. And I said, I need some money. I need some help with some cash. And he was like, well, I'll give it to you if you have sex with me. And I said, I'm not going to do that. And I said, if I say it with you, it's because I want to do it. And I don't want to do it. And then so the man was saying, well, this is what I need you to do. Give me your Cash App information, and I'll Cash App you the money. I'll make love to you. And then, that's it. And I said, no. And then I said, how about this? You take me to the bank when we leave here after the hour or two is up. Because my suitcase was in his car, and he said, well, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to go to the office real quick. And then I said, well, go and get my bag out of your car first. So he went and got my bag, and I changed into another outfit. And then he was saying he would take me to the bank when we left the hotel and give me some money just to help me out. But when we got in the car and I asked him would he stop by the bank, he said no. He said, how about this? I'm going to drop you off where I met you, and if you don't find anybody who can help you out, then what I'll do is I'll come back to get you and get you a room for the night. I said, well, I don't want to have sex. He said, you don't have to. I'll just get you the room for the night. So I said, okay. So I went over there and I waited, to see if someone could help me around the area where he met me. And no one would help me. So I walked back up to the mall when all the stores started to close. And there were black men coming up to me like they were going to try to rob me by the bus stop by the Greenspoint Mall where all the buses are. And then I couldn't believe they were trying to come at me like they were going to rob me right there in front of everyone. And all I had was my suitcase. And then so I called him to come, and he came quickly, and he picked me up, and he took me to the same Palace Inn and paid for it for a night. When we went inside, he was saying, hurry and make love to me now. Hurry, hurry. And I said that I don't want to do it. And then I said, you said you were going to help me out with some money. Can I have? And he said, no. He said, you got to make love to me first, and then I'll give you the money. And I said, I don't want to do it. I'm tired, and I'm going to go to sleep now. So he said, okay, we'll go ahead and get some rest. And then so I started to fall asleep, and then he got up and said, I'm going to leave right now, but I'm going to come back in a couple of hours. And I said, you're going to leave me here, aren't you? And he said, no, I'm not going to do that. And then so he left, and he left me there the entire night. And I was asleep, and I woke up. He never came back or called me, and he had the key to the room. And so I woke up and took a shower, and I put on my green and black bamboo two-piece outfit, and I saw that it was raining outside, and I didn't have an umbrella. So I took my suitcase, and I left the hotel. It was on the second floor. And then I started to walk down the street. And I had stayed at hotels when I was on my own. I stayed at when I was escorting, I said I was staying at the hotels by myself. The hotels were putting me in rooms with no lock on the door, like they were setting me up. And they stopped serving the breakfast at the hotels and said it was for Corona because I was getting breakfast there. And all the places around, they started serving me old food at the restaurants. And then they were taking my money off of my car when I go to buy gas and not giving me the gas, and taking my money off of my cards. and taking my food money and my gas money, and then I had to take food out of the store and walk out with the amount that they took off my card. And then they tried to call the police and say that I stole, and I said, no, you take the money off of my card. And I called my bank, and my bank said they took the money. She said, I refund to you. My bank said they never did. So I just walk out with the stuff with the amount that she took from me, the white lady and the black lady. And they tried to call the police, and a white man tried to come and attack me when I was leaving the store with the food, trying to say I steal. And I said, she stole my money off of my car. Get out the way. And I got in my rental car and I drove off. So at this point, he got me at a Palace Inn. I already didn't trust hotel after that because I knew they were involved with what was going on in this country to have me murdered and I'm pregnant. So now I was walking down the street with my suitcase by myself, and it was raining really bad, and I was on the side of the highway walking down on the grass, and people were driving past, and there was a Hispanic man that asked me if I needed a ride. I said yes. He said, where to? And I told him to drop me off by the Stripes over there by Chisholm Trail by Beverly Raoul's home. And the police had told me that I couldn't go back to her home, and I did not go back to her home. But I was still in the area because I was familiar with that area. So he dropped me off at the Stripe, but he had told me I might not be able to take you all the way. But he did take me to the Stripe, and he dropped me off. And I started to walk, and suddenly all these people started swarming. Black people started swarming up on me. It's raining, and I soaking wet. I had the synthetic wig that Shay had gave me, but I had been cutting it down to keep it looking beautiful, just cutting off the edges of it. The ends to keep it from looking shaggy and combing it, and it was still very beautiful, but I kept having to make it shorter and shorter every day to keep it looking straight and nice and healthy. And so right now it looked like a bob, and it was beautiful, but it was very wet, and I was soaking wet, and black people were swarming around me asking me if I needed a ride. But at this point I already knew the only reason why they're trying to pick me up is to set me up. So I'm walking in the rain, and it's not as bad as you would think. I felt alive. I felt like, I'm with God, like y'all in y'all houses and y'all got your cars and y'all watching it rain down on me. But it's okay because I never felt this feeling before, and I'm alive and I don't need you. So I kept walking, and they say, you need a ride? I say no, because I already was soaking wet. It's too late now. I'm already soaking wet. You already persecute me. I got to keep going because the rain feel kind of good on my skin. So I kept walking, and I say no today. And then to them. And basically, then black women start pulling up. Hey, you okay? You need a ride? When the hell a black woman pull up on you asking you need help? Never in my life. So no, I don't, man. I don't need a ride. And she had a black man in the car with her. And so I walked back to the plaza, and I was going to get me something to eat because I still had the card that Brianna gave me, and it would not work on the site. But I had been buying snacks with that I bought some snacks with that, and so I was like, okay, I'm about to go and use the card to give me something to eat from McDonald's. And they were serving me old food too, old French fry, and they had been doing this in the neighborhood with my son. They had started serving me old ass food, and I was very upset about it. And sometimes me and my son would just have to eat the old food. And so basically there was poison in the potato that I would use to cook for us, his hash browns and everything. They were poisoning everything. And so now I'm going to the McDonald's to get a cheeseburger, and they're closing down the front part of it, and I did not realize that. But the man by the shell, he was a black man, tall, and I think he was in like a little small black or white or silver little car. And at first he was outside the car, and he looked like he was in the parking lot. He was very tall. He looked like he had some sort of Ethiopian blood or something, but he was the dark-skinned, milky brown, and very handsome and tall. And he was saying, hey, he had on a hoodie, and it was raining, but the rain had just started to stop. And he was saying to me, he was like, he said, do you need a ride? And I said, yeah, I need a ride. And then he said, okay, come and sit in my car, put your bag in my car and get in. So I got in, I put my bag in his back seat, and I got in. And then he said, you want to hang out with me today? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, because I didn't have nowhere to go. So I was like, that's cool. And so all of a sudden, he started hustling out in the parking lot, like selling drugs. And I like, man, hell no, what the hell going on? I ain't got time for this. I'm hungry. You said, do I need a ride? I'm trying to get a cheeseburger, And I didn't realize he was trying to stop me from getting food until I was waiting there for a long time. Now, McDonald's only a few blocks up the road. Like, I can walk up there myself and get something to eat. So, now I'm ready to get something to eat. And he like, well, okay, I'm gonna take you, and get in an attitude. So he was like, I'm gonna take you, and I said, I'm gonna go buy me a charger for my phone because I didn't have a charger for my phone. It had broke. And he was like, no, I got a charger in my room. I'm gonna take you to my room and get a charger. So he took me to the Motel 6 nearby in the area, and I went inside the room, and he got the charger, and I was charging my phone a little bit. And then he asked me, he was like, he had taken me to get the McDonald's, and he made me pay for my own food. And he was saying to me, he said, what's on your car? How much money do you got on there? I said, I don't know, because I didn't remember how much was left after I bought some food. And I'm like, why you want to know what's on my car? Why you like, how much money do you got? I was like, why you want to know how much money do I have? And he was like, I want to know. And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, you lying. I know you lying. And I was like, nah, I don't know. And then so I paid for it with the card. I said, I say, I don't have no cash on me. And I say, I paid for it with the card. And he was like, how much money on there? I said, I don't know. So I only bought something for $1, and that was it. And we went to the room and got the charger. And when we was in there, he said, I need you to open up your bag for me. And I said, I'm not opening my bag for you. He said, well, you can have guns in there or anything. Like, I said, I don't care. If you felt like I had guns, then why you bring me in your room? And then so he had like crack everywhere. Like, well, I don't know if I seen the crack right then, but I don't think I seen it right away. But I remember that we went back to the parking lot, and when he tried to go in my bag, and I told him no. And then we were going down the elevator because he was staying on the upper floor. And we went down the elevator, and he was like, you're weird, like trying to tear me down. And I didn't say nothing, I just like, yeah, whatever. Lady nigga keep talking down to me. But anyway, so when he went back up to the Shell, and there was a gang of black dudes standing in front of the Shell gas station. I mean, they was up like they were having a parade. And I knew everybody looking at me, in his car, sitting here watching. And I pulled out my suitcase, and I grabbed it, and then I just slammed the door, and I started walking to the mall to get me some food. So I walked I left, and I didn't say nothing to him. And I just walked up to the mall, and I went to the mall and to the food court, and the man was selling the food for very high. And then so I said, well, I want to get some chicken and stuff, some orange chicken. I got $4. And then he was like, well, I'll give you a cup of this orange chicken. So he gave me a cup of the orange chicken, and I went to sit down, not in the food court, but by the exit door toward the back of the mall. And then when I sat down, the man that had picked me up had come walking into the mall, and then he was like, hey, why you leave? Now, it's a long, like more of a longer walk. Like, you come all the way up to the mall after me. And then so he was like, why did you leave? I said, because you were disrespecting me. And I didn't appreciate it. You were talking about I was weird, trying to put me down, so I don't got time for that, so I left you back there. And then he was like, oh, well, he said, I didn't mean that. I was just joking with you. And I knew he was lying, And he was like, do you need somewhere to stay for the night? And I did. I didn't have nowhere to go. So I said, yeah, I do need somewhere to stay. But before he came in there, when I was eating the chicken, a black man come up to me, and he said, are you pregnant? And I look at him, and I knew I had to hide my pregnancy because there many people trying to kill my baby out here. And then so I told him, man, no. And then I was embarrassed because I had been smoking cigarettes. So I told him, and I said, no. And then he said, well, I see your stomach, and I see you right there eating. He said, are you sure you're not pregnant? And then he said, I see your suitcase. And I said to the man, I look at him, I wait for a minute, and I lie. I say, no, I'm not pregnant. And then so he walk away.